Hello everyone, welcome to the video presentation of Anemia Sense, leveraging machine learning for precise anemia recognition. In this video, we shall walk you through the problem statement, code, deployment, and a live model of the project. So, going through the problem statement, anemia is a global health challenge affecting millions of people with symptoms like fatigue, weakness, and reduced quality of life. Traditional methods of diagnosing anemia rely heavily on standard blood tests and manual interpretation, which can be prone to errors and may not provide a comprehensive understanding of the underlying causes. The Anemia Sense project was created to address this problem by leveraging machine learning algorithms. Our objective is to develop a system that accurately classifies different types of anemia and predicts whether a person is anemic or not. Let's take a quick look at the GitHub repository where the project is hosted. Here, you shall find all the files related to the project, including the data, model, and deployment code. This is a README file, and here starts the problem statement along with the project description. This README file also contains the steps in which we have completed the project, that is, data collection and preparation, then we explore to data analysis, then model building, where we have taken 6 models, that is also known as algorithms, we have applied. Next, we have tested the model and found the accuracy scores of all the algorithms. Then we have saved the models. After that, we have built the HTML pages and integrated the whole project with the Flask backend. Here, we can see the output screen, that is the web page screens, which consist of the home page, then the about section, which describes the anemia and its factors. Next, we also have added a contact page and the main one, that is the predictor page. Here are the skill batches that have completed during this course and project development. Next, let's see the Jobo academic report file, which provides an in-depth overview of the problem statement, objectives, and project significance. It starts with a certificate. Then the index consists of the file consists of abstract, introduction, technology used, a section about the project where we have problem statement, project description, then we have the core section, result, conclusion, and at the end we have reference. So abstract tells about the whole idea about on which the project is built. Then we have this introduction of the project. Basically, technology used, we have used the 6 algorithms of machine learning to test the model. And as a programming language, we have used Python. For libraries and tools, we have used Pandas, Scikit-learn. For data handling and model building, Matplotlib Seaborn for data visualization, and Flask for web framework integration. For data sources, we have used CSV files for open source platforms like Kaggle. For web development, we have used CSS and HTML as a front-end development tool and Flask for back-end integration. So we are here in the about the project section, where we have 2 subsections, that is the problem statement and the project description. Here are the important libraries that we have imported, such as the Pandas, NumPy, Matplotlib, and Seaborn. The first steps that the project comprises is the data collection and preparation. That is, we collected the data, and first of all, we have read the data and gone through the data about what are the features and on which the data is based, and how we can, what is the result we can draw from it. Let's come to data preparation section, where we have handled the missing data and the imbalanced data. After that, we have done the exploratory data analysis, which consists of visual analysis, where we have carried it out with the help of univariate analysis, bivariate analysis, and multivariate analysis. Next, we have split the data into training and test sets. After that, we have built a model based on the 6 algorithms mentioned above and here. After testing the data, after that we have tested the data and saved the best model. Following which, we have built the HTML pages, integrated it with the web frame, and used the Python code and built the main file, that is app.py, through which we have run the project. And that it comes the final deployment phase. Next, we will go through the code. The code also consists the visual, that is the charts that has been created. This is the index.html file that consists the CSS and the HTML part. Next we have the predict.html file. At the end we have the result page, that is, this is the main home page. Then the about section. Next we have the contact and the actual prediction page. At the end we have the conclusion and the replies. Now let's dive into the Jupyter Notebook to explore the code behind Amelia Sense. We begin with data collection and preparation. First of all, we have imported the important libraries, that is pandas, numpy, matplotlib, and c1. Next, we have collected the data. This data set, sourced from Kaggle, contains various blur parameters. After loading the data, we have performed data cleaning to handle the missing values and outliers, and also imbalance data. So first we have called df.help, like we have created a data frame and we have kept it in df. This is done using the pandas, this pd. Next, to see the initial data, we have used df.info for the information about the data that connects, like the gender, hemoglobin, gender that is an integer value. Next we have hemoglobin, that is a float value. So similarly we can see the whole data dot shape to see the rows and number of rows and columns. So here we have seen whether the data is null or not. The false implies that we don't have any null data. And we have also done df.isNull.sum that gives the sum of the data that are null. So here we can see we don't have any missing or null data. Now df.types is for the type of data we have. Next, we move to the exploratory data analysis to understand the data's distribution, visualizations like histogram and curve. Let us identify the patterns and correlations. So, first we see the amount of data, like the number of results we have. So, the first data analysis we did is plotting a graph between the results. So, for 0, it implies that not anemic, and if the result is 1, it's anemic. So we can see we had 108 samples of the ones that are not anemic and 620 samples of one that are anemic. We have also we calculated the same number for the gender, where we got 740 are like women and 680 are men. And we can see the female count is more than the male count. So here we have balanced the resulting. Here we got an imbalance on the result, where we got 801 result as not anemic and 620 as anemic. So we will be discarding these imbalances, and we have used here undersampling. That is, we have considered a middle class and a minor class, and we have eliminated the extra data from the major class. Now we have both of it, 620 and 620. We will be plotting the balanced result between a result section that is 0 and 1, that is not anemic and anemic. So we get that both of them has came down to 620. There is this dot describe function that describes and tells us about the data, and here we have used t to transpose the result. So we have these features, but the features that the anemia.csv file contains the gender, hemoglobin, MCH, MCHC. MCH is mean corpuscular hemoglobin. This is mean corpuscular hemoglobin count, and this is mean corpuscular volume. And at the end we have the results. So this tf.describe gives us the count, the mean, the standard deviation, minimum, maximum, and this the quartile ratios. So we can easily do the data analysis. Next we have plotted the gender count, and this blue one, this is legend, and the blue one indicates that it's female. Next, we have plotted a distort. This is the section where we have done the visual analysis thing. So this is univariate analysis. These are parts of data analysis, exploratory data analysis. So next we have this distort graph that defines the skewness in the hemoglobin levels. Here we have it defines the outliers and all. It mainly tells us that the range, skewness, and outliers. It is useful in medical analysis for assessing hemoglobin levels and identifying potential abnormalities. Next, we move to bivariate analysis, where we have plotted bivariate analysis is for two features. In univariate analysis, we only considered one feature. Now we have two features. So we have plotted a graph for men and women having the results 0 and 1. So we see here in the legend we can see that if it's 0 it implies a person is not anemic and 1 is anemic. So here 0 defines the male person and this one is the female. So we can see the data, what are the percentage of men having anemic, and this is a mean of what the men have that are not anemic and the men that are anemic. This is female that are not anemic and mean of the female that are anemic. Next, we move on to multivariate analysis, where we plot a graph between multivariate. As the name says, it's multivariable. It is to find the relation between multiple features. So here we have used scatter graph, and on the y-axis we have gender, hemoglobin, like all the features mentioned, and the features are mentioned on the x-axis as well. So in this pair plot, it's like gender versus gender, then gender versus hemoglobin. So we have used a scatter plot to define the relationship and the bar graph as well. Next, we have this heat map which shows the correlation among different features. This like one indicates the highest correlation. As we can see, gender is highly correlated with itself, like it would be, and a negative signs indicates the correlation is very less. As we can see here in the chart, one shows the highest correlation, minus shows the least correlation. Next, we take the we split the data into training and test set. So for the x-axis, we take the all the features other than the result, and here we can see the result x-axis. Now for the y-axis, we take the result, and here in our model we have by default we can it's like 30% of the data is test set and 70 of it is the training set, but here we have taken 20% of the data as test set and the other remaining 80% as the training set. So after splitting the data with the help of sklearn, where we have this function train test split, we have shown the shape of the data. Next, from here onwards, we have done the after preparing the data, we split into training and test data. Like now, we will be using several machine learning models to train the data. So the first model we have taken is the logistic regression model. So in the logistic regression model, we have created a logistic regression function, and inside the function, the linear regression algorithm, the logistic regression algorithm is initialized with train and test data. So train data. Next, we have uh, predicted the data by giving the x dot test, that is test data, to the predict function, which will be giving the result in the y underscore predict. Next, we have calculated the accuracy score for this model and saved it in this variable. We have also applied the classification report and we have printed it here. This was for the logistic regression model. We have done the same for the random forest classifier model values. Next, we have done it for the decision tree classifier model. There is the Gaussian MB model. Then for the gradient, you see in the end, and this is the vector model. Then we have gradient boosting classifier model. This was for the models. Now we move to for going through all the models and checking its accuracy score. We have made a data frame that is named model, where we have considered all the models and model names and their accuracy score. So once we have printed the model and we see that decision tree classifier and the forest classifier and gradient boost classifier has the highest accuracy scores. So we will be taking one of these models. So for this project I have picked the gradient boost classifier. So this section concludes with a comparison of all the models. Next, we will be making a pickle file so that we can use this gradient boost classifier model. So we will be importing pickle, as we haven't used the warning, so it's not being used. So we have this dump function in pickle where we can use to make a pickle file so that we can use integrate and use it with the HTML framework. With the model ready, the next step is deployment. We used Flask, a lightweight web framework, to integrate our machine learning model into a web application. In the deployment files, we all find the app.py, that is this one, file which serves as the backbone of the web application. It handles requests, processes input data, and returns prediction to the user interface. The front end is designed with using HTML and CSS. Two main HTML files are index.html and predict.html. So, in the last section, we build the model.pickle file. We can see here it is in this area, but it can't be displayed. So, let's move to the index.html explanation. That is the first page. So, this are the CSS part. We have made the navigation bar, then the home section. After that, we have an about section, and next in the about section we have the we have described the factors that are responsible for anemia. Next, we have this and a contact section. That's it. Next, these are the CSS that we have used in this HTML files, like defining the height, display, alignment, padding, box sizing, and all. Next, we have predict.html file, which is a main file where the prediction happens. So it is in the form of a form where we collect the data from the user. And the form contains the action slash predict and method post, which we have described in the app.py file. So the factors that is considered is gender. So for male it will be 0 and female for it will be 1, as we have seen in the linear recognition file. Next we have the hemoglobin that should be in the range of 7 to 16. After that we have mean corpuscular hemoglobin, which should be in the range of 16 to 30. Next, we have mean corpuscular hemoglobin concentration, which should be in the range of 20 to 34. And at the end, we have taken the mean corpuscular volumes that should be in the range of 70 to 30. Next, going to the actual Flask implementation file that is in the app.py. So, Flask, where we have imported the numpy panda, pickle, and the Flask, where we have imported request and render template. So, the two HTML files are here in the template section. Here. And here we have the app file. First, we have loaded the model. This is the model loading section, and we have written comments, so it is easy to understand. And we have mentioned the path, static path to be stored. Next, we have defined the routes for the pages. So, by slash, we mean the first HTML index page will be opening with the slash integration with the whole HTML URL. Next, we have the prediction rule that defines the predict.html page. After that, we have here defined the predict post method. What this post method does is collect the data from the form and send it to the model. And after that, we have built a feature.numpy array to collect all the features in an array, then make a data frame of the features and its columns. And we have also printed the for our usage. We have this feature. Next, we have given a data frame to the model to predict, and we store that result in the prediction variable. Next, we have show the result in the first result in the result prediction result in the result variable. After that, we have compared the result. So 0 implies that the person, male or female, do not have any disease, and 1 defines that he or she have any endemic disease. So at the end, we have, based on the calculation, we have rendered the predicted prediction to the HTML file that is in the predict.html, and this is the main section where the app runs. So in this HTML file, at the end, so predict.html, at the end you can see here comes the prediction. So this whole thing, here we can see the prediction that has been done. So from here you can run the code. So the code that we use is python app.py. We'll be clicking on enter here in the terminal so that our file runs. It will take a few seconds to run. And here it is deployed successfully on this link. Now we will be opening this link to see whether our model predicts things correctly or not. Let's see Anemia Sense in action. Here's a web application running locally. As you can see, the interface is straightforward. The first that you can see, the first display page is the home. Then we go to the about section where we see a brief about anemia and its factors that affects it. Next, we go to the contact section where anybody can contact me through email. Like if one writes his or her name, email, and message, he or she can click on the send message and a mail will be open. Next, we see the main page, that is the predict page. It's a straightforward interface. User enters their gender, hemoglobin levels, and other relevant blood parameters. Once the data is entered, they can click on predict button and receive an immediate diagnosis. So let's see through one or two example. Here, let's choose female, and we know for female the hemoglobin levels should be above 12. So once if one is not anemic, so let's see. Let's consider 11. Next, we put this in the range 17. As like I have used data before, so it's showing. So let's predict. So like we have used 11, so it should show that the female is anemic. So let's see. So let's see, we have the result, and based on the calculation, we have anemic disease. So it's we verify that the model has predicted correctly. Next, we see another example where we take male. For male, the hemoglobin level should be above 13.5. So that they are not anemic. So let's take 40. We can see whether it's giving a correct value or not. It's predict. So here it is. Predictions are correct. It is based on the calculation. We don't have any anemic disease. The system processes the data to the trained machine learning model and returns the result. The prediction provides insight whether a patient is anemic or not. So here Demonstration ends. Thank you for watching this presentation of anemia cells. We hope this project inspires further innovation in the field of healthcare and technology.